Hello, everyone, and welcome to Matthew's Adventures. As I said, I am basically out of content at this moment from the parks, and we are still in this extended off season where the park is using this opportunity to clean the park and make sure that once we are able to return, we will be doing so safely. So in today's video, I'm kind of going like full YouTuber here, and I'm actually going to do the recent trend of tier listing. I made my own. It is a ranking of haunted houses at Six Flags Great America. I have been going into the haunted houses since 2016. I have not been in all of these on this list, but this is either judging off of videos or reviews that I have read about the concept. So let's get into it. So we are ranking on the scarce scale, horrifying being the number 5 and tame being the number 1 here, and then obviously terrifying, frightening, chilling, and horrifying. So I guess let's just kind of get into this. Like I said, I haven't really been in all of these, and I couldn't find logos or pictures for all of them, so some of them I had to get a little bit creative, but here we go. So we're going to start off from earliest, which is Mausoleum of Terror, which I never had the opportunity of going in. But if you have ever been in Gates of Hell, it is basically the same thing I've heard, minus the rotating tunnel, which is currently sitting in Big Top Terror. So if I'm just basing it off of the inside part of Gates, I would probably give it I'd probably put it in the middle. I don't think to me, that haunt is too scary or anything. I used to not really like it because the strobes were super, made my eyes very much hurt afterwards, but it's kind of worn off, and I've noticed that they've done a lot less strobes in the past couple years than they did before. They've done a lot more other lighting effects, which I definitely enjoyed a lot more. So up next we have, I guess if we're gonna go in order, would be what would have been Primeval Scream, I believe. I couldn't find a logo, but from what I heard, it's basically like a version of Wicked Woods before it was Wicked Woods, that was hosted in the Southwest Amphitheater, which is currently no longer actually at the parks. It has been replaced by the Justice League. So I'm actually gonna put that over here, I guess. I have never really had the opportunity to experience it, so I can't really give it a rating that is super good, but it sounds pretty cool in my opinion. Up next we have Massacre, which I think I actually put twice on here. I had the opportunity of going this from 2016 all the way up to 2019 when it was redesigned, and this honestly was one of the ones that has always been really scary to me. I don't really like hospitals that much, so we're gonna put that up at horrifying. Honestly, I was gonna put it at chilling, but I think it's best if it goes up at horrifying. And I guess my one story was one Friday I went to Fright Fest and I really wanted to go in here. I really wanted to get in, but there was nobody else in line. The park was literally dead. And then I decided I was going to go in, but they didn't have anyone to go with me. So actually one of the attendants went in with me, and it was super great. And she stayed pretty far behind me, so it was like I was going by myself, and I think that was so crazy because I was really scared to go in it. But I actually put it twice, so we're still gonna put that one up there. Up next, it would be the 2012 year. I forgot to put Saw Live. I've read not very good reviews about this, and I heard it was really bad, so we're gonna just put it at terrifying, I guess. This was based off of the Saw movies. It is where Massacre or Manslaughter is right now. I didn't really hear any good things about it, so I just think we're just gonna put it down there, honestly. Okay, so up next, we're gonna do 2012. So that was the introduction of Manslaughter Manor, and ever since 2012, I had not gone in the haunts at that point, and I didn't go in them till 2016, but I really always wanted to go in this one. And when I first went in it, it didn't disappoint, but it's not super great. I'll give it a frightening. I put it right in the middle. I think it's a good indoor haunted house. It's very good to start off, and I just think it kind of needs a refresh. So if there is a Fright Fest 2020, obviously I will remain hopeful until we hear obviously that it won't happen, which I'm kind of assuming it won't. I would love to see that one redone this year because I know they've been doing really good refreshes. I really love 13th Order and Infected last year. So personally, I really would like to see that one get a makeover. Up next, even if not for 2020, I guess I would say for 2021. So up next would be the Deadline. I have seen a video of this, and it was basically you go on the train and then you go where Goliath is currently, and they had like a little haunted trail. It looked really boring, honestly, and I'm just gonna have to put it at tame. I never had the chance to experience it, but just from that video, I thought it was kind of boring, and it kind of just looked very disappointing, and I thought they could have done a lot of stuff with that, so I'm kind of sad about that. Up next is Wicked Woods. I've seen a couple little video clips in it. I heard it's really good if you go at night, and honestly, from the clips, it did not disappoint. So I'm going to put it at frightening. I have not personally been in this, but it's pretty similar to what Apocalypse would have been like, but minus with a couple little less things, a little bit of different theming, but it looked pretty cool, and I always wanted to go in it, but I never did have the chance. So next is 2013, and 2013 was the introduction of the Bermuda Triangle in the water park, which I believe stayed till 2015. It was only like a 2-3 year thing, and that was the Abyss. I could not find a picture of the logo, but I could find a picture of the outside. I always wanted to go in it, and the year I was going to go in it, they actually got rid of it, which I'm so sad about. But it looks pretty good. I'm just going to put it at terrifying because it looks pretty well done in the inside. I heard it's basically kind of infestation a little bit with a couple different things, like more under the sea theme, because obviously it would take place in the city of Atlantis. So I think that'd be super cool. All right, so up next we have Total Darkness, which from what I've heard and I've seen, I think one video of it. I know you're not supposed to take videos in them. I never do, but I know some people have. They actually basically did nothing with this maze, and you literally were in the dark, but I heard it was kind of scary. So we're gonna put it in terrifying right now. I don't know. We still haven't had anything like top tier because I haven't been in any of these except for Manslaughter and Medical Massacre. So up next, we have 2014, which was the year they only did one new haunted house, and that was Fear, which was basically total darkness. Basically still dark, just they did spiders and clowns and stuff. I'm going to put it in frightening, honestly. I don't really have much to say about it. Again, this was not something I'd ever gone in. Now, all the rest of them are ones that I actually have gone in, and I'm actually going to talk about them a lot more than I have the other ones so far. So 2015, they introduced 2 new mazes, which was our Gates of Hell. Honestly, it's pretty high up there. It's very scary to me, honestly. It was the first haunted house I had ever done at Six Flags. I waited 10 minutes for it, opening day of Fright Fest 2016, and honestly, it didn't disappoint on it. It's just, I really was scared. It was my first ever haunted house, and honestly, it just scares me even to this day. It's so pretty frightening. The only thing I've noticed is they've changed a couple things of the haunted house, and I think when I first did it in 2016, it's better than it was in 2016. Or when I first did it in 2016, I think it was better than what they do right now. Personally, that's just my opinion. Up next, we have Apocalypse. I did not do it. Oh, Apocalypse was 2015. Yeah, Apocalypse was 2015. So this was originally introduced as a laser tag kind of thing. I heard that didn't really go over well because you had to pay extra, and many people didn't do that. So they actually stopped doing that. And I haven't really heard much about this maze, to be honest with you. I heard it was okay. I don't think I heard anything any better than that. I did actually get to go in Apocalypse. It was the second maze I ever did at Six Flags or haunted house ever. I would give it like a frightening. It's not too great. If you went in the dark, it was a lot better than if you did it during the day. Personally, I just think it was always kind of, it all really depended. I feel like I had some really good experiences in there, and I had some not good experiences. So it all really depends. I really loved the Roaring Rapids maze, and I really wish they would bring something like that back because honestly, the maze was so, I loved the feel of being like below, and I loved the end when you would go through the cave. And I just really think if they ever had to bring a maze like back or a design, I don't know what that would entail. I think that would just be super cool. Up next, we have 2016, which introduced 2 new mazes to us. That is Big Top Terror, which is probably one of my favorite mazes ever. As time goes on, it kind of does wear out its welcome a little bit. I feel like it needs a little bit of an update. Personally, I feel like they've made a couple changes, but they haven't made a big change in a couple of years. The music is really great. I've been trying to find the music, so if anyone who worked in Big Top Terror knows what the music is, like, leave it down in the comments below, because I would just literally listen to that, just because I think it's so amazing. Don't judge. I like scary music. I listen to the Fright Fest park soundtrack all the time. So up next we have Infestation, which unfortunately is not very good. I love Infestation. There's pretty good actors in there. Like, this is nothing against the actors, it's more of the design. I just feel like every time I go in Infestation, I just don't really enjoy the experience. I feel like the maze has changed quite often. It was pretty good in 2016. It wasn't the best, personally. I just don't really have a fear of bugs. And I feel like with these mazes, it also depends on what I'm scared of. Like, I don't really like hospitals that much, so going in Massacre Medical Center has always been like something that really scares me. I'm not super big on clowns, but like, I don't have a problem with them. So just with bugs, I just don't really find them that scary personally, so I never really found this one to be too bad. But if you do it pretty late at night, I found it's actually really scary. Or when you go right away, I feel like in any of these haunted houses, if you go right away, I feel like unless it's an indoor dark haunted house, it just kind of defeats the purpose. So I'd usually wait for Gates or any other outdoor haunted house to get the full experience, personally. Up next was 2017. They had no brand new haunted houses that year. But in 2018, we were introduced to Hellfest, which I pretty much enjoyed for the most part. I thought it was okay. My sister, that was her first ever haunted house, I believe that she did. And she definitely was not a huge fan of it. She was really scared. I really liked it. I think that it was a great stepping stone for the park's haunted houses. And I feel like from there, it just kind of built better. I do wish that it was a little bit longer, but I loved what they made it fit. I loved the place that they put in. Overall, I just really liked that maze. Up next, we have 2019, which brought us two new mazes, 13th Order and Infected. So 13th Order is probably one of my all-time favorite mazes that the park has ever done. I love, it's very gory. I usually don't do too well with blood, but I really think the gore level is what makes it amazing. I love the cult thing that it's got going on. I always had such an amazing time in this last year. I would go in it so many times. I think every time was amazing. The chainsaw at the beginning, kind of spoiler alert, but the chainsaw wasn't always there. So I guess it's kind of just if you're lucky. I always thought that was super cool. And this maze was always so foggy. It always smelled bad in there, which I feel like really added onto it. And I would love to go in it in about 2 months, but I don't think that's going to happen. But whenever I'm able to go back in there, it will just be amazing because I enjoyed it so much. Up next is also from 2019, Infected. And personally, I love Infected so much. I didn't like it the first time I went in it on opening day, and then after that, it just grew on me. I love that maze. It's probably one of my all-time favorite mazes that I've ever gone through in the park. I love the color scheme. I love all the greens in there. I love the plot, and it's kind of similar to the coronavirus, I guess. Not really, not at all. It's very more serious, but it's kind of like that you don't want to catch it kind of thing that I really liked about it. And I just really liked it. I loved the lighting in here. I love how they repurposed different things from the medical center. I love they did the facade and like a couple of the different scenes you might recognize some stuff from, and it's kind of like Stranger Things almost. I don't know, I really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It's very different. I think I'm gonna do a couple tier lists, honestly, because I'm kind of out of content. Fright Fest content's gonna be even more boring right now, but we're just gonna keep it alive, the energy going. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I know it was very different, and I definitely don't do many of this stuff. If you actually liked hearing just kind of like this voice thing, I actually have a podcast. It's called That's a Matthew, where I talk about Disney Channel shows and original movies if you guys want to go check it out. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys hopefully in another video again soon. Bye.